I'm Erica. I run Baby Gear Group in the Twin Cities. So we are a baby gear library, so designed for membership use, but we also have a la carte so people can try out one thing, a couple things as long as they need them. And the idea is to save families a lot of money and also keep a lot of waste out of the landfill as much as we can. Baby gear is a tricky area because a lot of nonprofits that accept donations will not accept baby gear for liability reasons. So you can't just go to Goodwill and drop this stuff off. It's not accepted. Let me see if I can. There we go. So here's kind of our just a diagram of our cycle, which is that you use something, your baby grows up 3 months and you're on to the next stage. You trade in that item that you had for the next thing that you need, use it for the next 3 months, and then you're kind of off to the next items. But in the meantime, those items are going to another family. They're not sitting in closets. They're not sitting in garages. That's gross. They're not sitting at grandma's house taking up her space, right? So as soon as you're done with this item, it goes to another family, but you know that when you need that again, should there be a surprise second baby or a cousin comes to visit, you can get it back if you want it. So it's access without storage and waste is the idea. So what's the mission? Reduce the cost to families. The average family spends $6,000 on baby gear within the first year of baby's life, going through all those phases. Which is just not sustainable. Plus, if you're manufacturing all of that stuff per baby, the ratio of stuff space to the space that this little person takes up is just ridiculous. So how can we reduce that waste, reduce that cost? But most importantly, make the sustainable choice the easy choice, right? The parent who's trying to feed their 6-week-old is not the one that can run all over the city looking for the best quality way to avoid waste at this moment, right? So how can we make it easy? And then to avoid manufacturing waste, this is changing slightly in the industry, but most returns in the baby gear space are just trashed because it's not worth the money to the manufacturer to reprocess and certify and resell these items. And then also single use. There are a lot of people who buy things, use them, and then stick them in the trash because they don't know anyone who's at that stage at that time. And like I said, you can't just drop it off at Goodwill. So reduce cost and reduce waste is kind of our mission. So what's the need here? Safety. In order to be useful to a family, the gear needs to be functionally complete, safety checked, and not subject to any recall. And there have been a huge number of recalls. You don't, as a first-time parent, know any of this stuff when you're on Marketplace. You don't know what it should have. You don't know how it works. You don't know if you're being sold the wrong model. You just have no idea. It's a total crapshoot. So we can take a lot of that stress out of things for families by guaranteeing it's going to be this model. It's going to be functionally complete. It's going to work to keep your baby safe the way it's supposed to. I already talked about waste. Local. So there have been some really fantastic national reuse organizations that have folded because it just is not sustainable to ship things cross country of this size for families to reuse them when they need them. So we are bringing it local. There are several Baby Gear Group locations. I'm in the metro in Minnesota, but there are some in Philly. There are some in Boulder. We're keeping it all really local. We all connect with our own local communities in the way that makes sense for us so that we're not taking on those costs of shipping nationally or creating those additional carbon emissions from shipping. Cost. There are baby gear rental companies, but they're priced for families on vacation that have a little extra cash that only need things for a couple days. That's just not sustainable for families who need things for 3 to 12 months. So we're really geared toward keeping costs as low as possible for that kind of medium to long-term use. And we guarantee that no matter how long you keep something, you'll never pay more than half of retail for the stuff that you use. So how can we price control for that? And then time, right? As we all know, it takes a lot of time and know-how in order to designate gear responsibly when you're done with it, how to deal with your waste responsibly. So we take care of that step for parents. Okay, so here are the results. That was our mission. I have personally been operating for 2 years, almost to the day. I've served 420 families. On average, we crunched the numbers. On average, we've saved families 83% over retail, assuming that they looked on Marketplace and couldn't find what they wanted. So then they came to us and would have otherwise had to buy it new. So 83%. And then just very estimated, but as far as we can calculate responsibly, have avoided 24 tons of CO2 emissions and 4.8 tons of manufacturing waste. And that's just my location in the last 2 years. So we're very happy with where we've gotten and looking forward to where we can go from here. So here's my information. Happy to take questions. In terms of where we're going next, one of the things that I'm looking to build in more of is community events. So especially baby gear swaps and baby clothing swaps. So kind of in that 0 to 5 age range. So if you're not in that space that you love reuse and you have a place that we could use as a gathering place just to tell local parents, hey, you can come on this day between these hours and take and give as much clothing as you want. I've had trouble finding spaces that would not cost me. I don't have a large operating budget, but a space that would not cost me money, but I could put on the service for families if you know anyone like that. I also have different pickup hubs around the metro. So if you know anyone who'd be interested in being a pickup hub to host gear for a day or two so a family can come pick it up and save on delivery costs as well. And then thirdly, I know we're talking Minnesota wide here. So each branch is independently owned and operated. So like I said, I'm in the metro. If you knew anyone in Rochester or Mankato or Duluth or St. Cloud that wanted to start this kind of thing, you could also get the training and develop your own branch there and do things locally. So all kind of avenues for growth.